Josh, one of the highlights of my offseason was getting a chance to go to Melbourne, experience Melbourne for the first time. But it wasn't even the city. It was learning about Australian basketball in general. Mm-hmm. The shuffle offense was the most interesting thing to me. I can't stop thinking about it. For those who don't know, can you tell us about the shuffle offense?
Yeah, the shuffle offense is something that was very big in the junior team that I used to play for, the Melbourne Tigers. Started a long time before I was around, and my dad, he used to run it with his team. It was a very simple offensive system, and he taught it to me and my teammates growing up all through our junior careers. And it was just a way to, we used to run it every time down the floor, and there's a lot of different looks you can get out of it. And he taught it as good as anyone I've ever been around. And I think that's where a lot of my passing comes from in that offense. There was a lot of back cuts and slips and different reads I had to make. And the shuffle offense is, in my opinion, I think if an NBA team was to run it, no one would be able to guard it. But that's just not how the NBA is played these days. But I think that offense is very, very good.
It seems like the Thunder, though, incorporates elements of it into y'all's style of play. What sort of things are kind of paralleled with the Thunder and kind of the shuffle offense?
Yeah, I think we typically have a lot of cutting, and the shuffle is all revolved around ball movement and cutting and screening, and there's a lot of different looks you can get out of it. And our offense is similar in that sense, where there's not just one look on a play. There's multiple different options that the handler or the screener can make the read on. And coach puts us in, because we've got a lot of guys that can handle the ball out there. Coach puts us in positions where, we're engaged, even if we don't have the ball in our hands, as a cutter, as a screener, whatever it is. So that aspect is very similar to the shuffle and how I grew up playing. So it's good to kind of makes me feel like I'm back at home a little bit.
You mentioned that's where you got a lot of your passing from. As the team's offense gets better and improves over the course of seasons, do you feel like you can make more simple passes now and not have to make so many of those kind of daring passes that you used to make?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes with time, and the more we all get on the same page, those daring passes do become the simple pass. And for me, I like to play on the edge a little bit. It's just how I've always played, and I'm fortunate enough that Mark gives me that freedom to kind of go out there. And sometimes I have to tone back the turnovers a little bit, but I'm just glad I have teammates and coaches that trust me to make the right play. And although sometimes it does result in turnovers, and I definitely hear about it, but as I said, I think the longer we keep playing together, those passes that look tough in my first or second year, they become the normal. And it's just great that we've got such a connected team with great chemistry, and it feels like we're getting closer and closer every game we play together. And incorporating a guy like Chet into the team now, it's going to make my job a lot easier playing with big that can stretch the floor, that can play above the rim as a lob threat. So not that throwing lobs is my forte, but it's awesome to have a guy like that back in the team that can make the game so much easier for everybody else.
You haven't thrown a lot of lobs, so I don't know if we have a fair sample size to judge whether or not you throw lobs or not.
Hopefully it gets better. I mean, the first one I tried to throw to Chet in the summer, I threw it right off the backboard and it bounced back to me. It didn't even hit his hand, so something I've got to work on and get better at.
I want to go back to a little bit. You mentioned the freedom to make mistakes, and you don't get rattled very often, right? It seems like you're very fearless out there on the floor. Where does that come from for you?
I think it's always been, a thing of mine not to show the other team that, you're fatigued, you're frustrated, you're stressed, because that gives them an advantage. If they see that type of thing, they go at it. And for me, especially in big moments, you have to stay level-headed. You can't start doing things you haven't done all year. And I think that was a big thing in the play-in. We played, and that was the difference between two games. And I think the New Orleans game, we played the same way we had all year, which got it to that point. And the Minnesota game, I think, myself included, we tried to do things that we hadn't done all year, and that's what hurt us. And I think in the big pressure moments, you have to stick to what's got you to that point. And it was a great learning experience for the guys. A lot of us was our first taste of a playoff action and play-in, playoff, whatever you want to call it. And it will be better for us going forward now that we've had that experience, under our belt. So staying level-headed is very important. Not letting big moments, small moments, whatever it is, distract you, and just continue with what's got you to that point.
We've mentioned the passing. Another big element of your game is your rebounding. Just how has that element of your game evolved in your time in the league?
Yeah, rebound is something that it's not really a skill to say. I mean, it is in some sense for big guys, especially, having to box out and go get the ball. But for a guard like myself, typically I'm guarding guys that aren't going to crash the O glass. So my job's not too hard on the glass. I try to help the bigs out because, especially when we go small ball, we need everyone in there crashing the boards, and I just try and make their job a little easier. And rebounding has always been something fun for me because it's a great way to get out in transition to start the break, and offensively it gets us extra possessions. So rebounding has always been something I've tried to make an emphasis on.
Is there any moment from maybe your rookie season that you look back on and laugh now, given the way you're able to hold your own in terms of rebounding now?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I used to joke around with J-Rob about it all the time because, he would have to do all the hard work, and he would be, especially when we're playing those type of bigs that crash the glass, like, Embiid, Jokic, whoever it was Andre Drummond one. That was the funniest one because he was having a boxing bout all night, and I was coming in just getting every rebound, and the poor guy couldn't get one. So, it is fun playing with these bigs that do all the dirty work, and it makes my job a little easier.
You guys are working together. That's all that is.
Exactly, we're on the same page. We're the team.
We're
so
working
it is
together. Switching gears a little bit, you're very self-aware when you understand your path and growth as a shooter. How important is it for you to see that big picture for you?
Very. I mean, it's something that has obviously got to get better. It was something that I've spent a lot of time this summer working on, and me and Chip have spent a lot of time together, and he's been awesome in that sense, and he does a great job of. A lot of it's not technical. A lot of it for me was just confidence wise and going out there, and I think for me the big thing was like I miss one, I worry, is my percentage going up, is it going down, whatever that may be, and the big thing that he emphasized to me was. Shoot, the great shooters look forward to the next shot after a miss because they know what they did wrong and they know what to clean up on, and that's something that mindset is something I've embraced over the summer, and I think the big thing for me is not coming into this season trying to prove to everyone that I'm this knocked out shooter and blazing away from three now, and I think just taking the right ones, and that's something I did last year, was just taking the right ones, understanding if the defense doesn't close out, shoot the ball. If they do, make the right read. So, I'm smart enough to make the right play. And, I'm not coming into this season trying to change the perception on my shooting and what it is. And, if they're there to take, I'm going to shoot. I'm not going to hesitate, but I'm not going to come out blazing away trying to change the narrative that I'm, turned into JJ Redick over the last 4 months.
For you all as a team, over the past couple of years, you've had to show a lot of resilience in the face of adversity. How important is it to now have, humility in the face of success? Very,
because it's easy to get caught up in highs and lows. And the best piece of advice I got is nothing's ever as good as it seems, nothing's ever as bad as it seems. And especially in a big moment, I think, I keep referring, but that playing game, we came off such a high in New Orleans and a massive win against a really good team to keep our season alive. And then we come to Minnesota and it's such a low, your season ends on that note. And it's just that it's how basketball works. There's great moments, there's bad moments, and staying level-headed and neutral is a really important thing. And this team's going to hopefully continue on the pathway we are, and there's going to be more success that comes with it, but not letting outside noise distract you, not letting outside expectations disrupt what we're doing internally is very important. So we got the right guys that handle that right. Sam and Mark really preach that, so that shouldn't be a problem for our team.
Given the path that this group is on, what's it been like for you being a part of this group and growing with them kind of organically over the last couple seasons?
It's been awesome. I mean, when I came in, it was a rebuilding team. It was a young group. We won the year before I came. They won 20 or so games. My rookie year, we won 20 or so games, and then the jump we were able to make last year was just impressive. And nobody pictured us doing what we did and getting to the point where we did. And it's just a testament to the group. We never let the outside noise and expectations bother what we were doing. And that's not to say this year that we're going to make another 15 game increase. Because this is not how it works. It's never linear. It's never going to be a steady growth, and there's going to be challenges. We're going to go through stretches where we're 2-8, 2-7, whatever it is, and just not letting those bad runs get the group down, get the morale of the team down. And as I said, we've got the right guys. We come into the building every day, win or lose, with the same mindset of getting better and stacking good days. So that's never a worry for this team, and hopefully this year we can continue in the right path and hopefully continue to up the win column.